Good morning, welcome back. Today I'm starting from this little town, Malmedy, southern Belgium, around 30 minutes from the Luxembourg border. And my plan for today, I'm going to head to a town that's, the name completely escaped me, in Luxembourg, that's meant to be one of the beauty spots, not just because the town itself is beautiful, but the scenery around it. So that will be my aim. I think the specific spot is an hour or so away from where I am now. I love coming to these little towns because in the evening it's people sophisticatedly drinking beers and wines, and the smell of cigar smoke in the streets is quite strong. And then in the morning, all of the boulangeries are packed with people popping in and out, getting their baguettes, their pastries, etc., etc. I had a continental breakfast, which for me, all that means is I get one pain au chocolat and a banana, and that's me set for the day. And I've also got to experience the regionalism in Belgium. It's a fascinating thing for those not local to the area, because in the north of Belgium, it's Flemish. And Flemish is, if I'm right in thinking, in essence, extremely similar to Dutch with a few very small similarities. So over half the population of Belgium speak Flemish. That's the north half. The southern half, they speak French. And then on the eastern half, or the eastern quarter, I should say, very, very small pocket of Belgium, they speak German. And I noticed that very strongly when I came here. Just, you can hear the French immediately. Every single shop, every single person here speaks French. For me as an outsider, it's a fascinating thing, being in a country where you have so many different languages. And then you've got the capital of Belgium, Brussels, and the official languages of Brussels are French and Dutch, Flemish. It takes some getting used to. I'm excited, the weather's just about holding out. Let's head off. Luxembourg awaits. I've been riding for about 2 minutes and I've just found the strangest thing. I saw all of these old Volvos parked up here. Fairly interesting in itself, right next to a petrol station. But I had to pull over from what I saw after that. So the old, looks like abandoned Volvo dealership continues this way. That's on a Belgian plate, that's on a Luxembourg plate, interestingly. But then you've got all of the old 1980s Volvos inside. It looks like it's an abandoned old Volvo dealership. What's even more interesting, these look quite like they're in, I want to say new, maybe new's too far, but exceptionally good condition. I mean, they cannot have driven more than a few thousand miles at best. If these were put up for sale, they would all sell immediately. These are so desirable now as classics, and they're just left here in an old abandoned forecourt. 10 minutes away from the Luxembourg border, and the temperature keeps progressively dropping. It's getting much more hilly now. The traffic is easing out considerably. And I think this part of Europe, maybe specifically Luxembourg, because this road goes directly to Luxembourg ahead of me here, I think it could be a country of petrol heads, because I've seen Paris-Dakar style 1960s Beetles bombing along the motorway. I've seen a Jeep Wrangler pulling a desert racer vehicle, and I've seen a whole load of Porsches, motorbikes and other proper specialist vehicles just in the past 10 minutes. So I don't know what to expect when I actually get into Luxembourg. Talking about cars, just after I finished filming those Volvos, the owner of the petrol station came out. So the petrol station I filmed, the garage section and the house section I filmed, and all of the Volvos, that's his, he owns it. He must have been about 85 years old. And I asked him, in my broken different languages, French or German, I asked him, are they for sale? I went like that. And he's like, no, they're mine. They're just mine. They're not for sale. So that's his own private selection. I mean, he must be 85 years old. Comes out, McLaren cap on, speaking German. This is the fascinating thing I was saying at the start of the video. Speaking completely German, mother tongue. He speaks some French, but German is the language he speaks. And he's speaking that in the town full of the French-speaking locals where I stayed the night, where I had my breakfast. It's just such a fascinating dynamic that you can have an 85-year-old whose bread and butter is German, that's what he speaks as his first language, surrounded by everyone else that speaks French. I'll show you, just before I get into Luxembourg, my Insta 360 setup, because this is the X4 camera. It's a phenomenal piece of kit. This only came out a couple of months ago. The big improvement on this over the old one I had, it's 8K recording. And they've also massively increased and improved the ruggedness of everything. Not just the quality of the touchscreen, the fact you can do it with gloves on or without. The buttons are all beautiful quality, and all of the poles and the attachments for your handlebar, the quality is so good, and the fact that you can twist and pivot every element of it makes it so easy to use. So for example, if I want to do an onboard shot where I see my speedo, I just pull out the camera as much as I want, and that will give me a great shot there, speedo, mirrors and the road ahead of me. If I want to get a shot of me riding, just push it away from me, push the button to press on, and just push it out a bit like that, and then I can get a shot of me riding, and I can pivot to the left or right, I can attach it to the back, and it's so incredibly easy to live with. And then in the evenings, if I'm doing a ride like this, just unscrew this, take it upstairs, plug it into the laptop, and I do all of my professional level editing on my laptop with the brilliant app that you download, have it on my Mac, and I swivel round the camera to pick which point of the 360-degree lens I want to edit. For example, if there's something interesting on my left-hand side, I just turn the camera in the editing software to face the left-hand side, and I can film that. It's the best bit of kit for filming that I've ever had. Well, this is pathetic. I'm never going to get anywhere. It's 2 minutes after I last pulled over, and I saw a restaurant on the side of the road, and I thought I need to stop, because does anyone else find this? Continental breakfasts, they are just croissants and a thin processed slice of cheese with maybe a small pot of jam. It's not enough to keep me going. So 45 minutes later, I'm really hungry, and I thought I don't want to get into Luxembourg hungry, so pulled over here to this little spot, and that burger, chips, green tea, it's £11.50. I walked in and I noticed the signs are German and everyone inside is speaking German, so I asked the waiter, what's the language here? And he said, this is a German speaking region of Belgium. So that means in the past 3 days, I'll have been in all three: German speaking, Flemish speaking, and French speaking. Is everyone in Belgium trilingual? Honestly, how does it work? Do you have to know the region you're going to and you think, you know what, that's a German speaking region, maybe it's just easier if I go to the shop in this French speaking region because I speak French? Or can you all just seamlessly transition from one to another because you're such good linguists and you're all trilingual? I'll show you. A group of Dutch riders have just got here. I was having a quick chat to them. They're heading over to Luxembourg. I'll flip the camera and I'll show you the kind of bikes that the Dutch riders come on. If you're talking Euro trips, then this is always one of the bikes that will be in the group, the Pan-European. These are ever popular. Doesn't matter what nationality you are, everyone seems to love these bikes. Gigantic, either 1100 or 1300cc engines, incredible amounts of storage, brilliant wind protection, and depending on the model you go for, you can pick them up for about £900. Lovely condition one in blue. That's the 1100cc one. Dutch plate, then on to another big one. Yamaha FJR, again a bike that you can pick up easily below £2,000. Gigantic wind protection, those proper built-in Yamaha panniers and back box, and guess what we've got another one of? Another Pan-European. This one is another 1100 model, again with a gigantic touring screen that will stop pretty much 100% of the wind, and he's got a camera set up just inside there, again with the panniers built in. KTM Adventure 990, very different one here that did come with the group. That's a Harley Fat Bob over there. I told you it was a petrol heads area around here. Harley Fat Bob with almost no storage at all. I have no idea how he manages because he did come with the group. See, that's on Dutch plates. KTM Adventure 1290, fully panniered up, and Aprilia RSV with a Ninja. See, these are all in the same group, all of them. So my guess is that all of those bikes have all of their luggage within the 3-4 big touring bikes, and they're just splitting a bit of their luggage between these ones because there is no way you can be touring on that, I'm sure, with that amount of luggage. Made it. Welcome to Luxembourg. Almost the second that I rode over the border, the rain started, so I'm going to chuck on my waterproofs. You can feel it immediately in Luxembourg. It's a tiny country, one of the smallest in the EU, with a tiny population of about 650,000 people. The roads here are tiny, they're empty. You can hear nothing but a light gust of wind. Nothing else. Unspoilt scenery all around everywhere. And Luxembourg, interestingly, it's got one of the highest, I think it may be number 1 or 2, one of the highest GDP per capita in the entire world. So it's a seriously wealthy country. On top of that, it's a seriously safe country as well, often ranked as the safest country in the world. That's probably why you see so many nice vehicles. The combination of being very wealthy and extremely little crime with a tiny population, so lovely roads, unspoilt, open areas to enjoy yourself. It's the perfect recipe for good times. I honestly thought it was going to be a motorway to get me to this town, so this is a really nice surprise. I'm heading in that direction for 15 minutes to get to the town that I want to get to. You really do get a feel here, though, that you're just on a road network that cannot have changed much in the past 60 years. I love it. Welcome to Clairvaux, Luxembourg. I've learnt 3 things in my 2 hours in Luxembourg. The roads are incredible, the scenery is completely unspoilt, and there are no humans here. I won't be able to get my artisan coffee here in Clairvaux because there's just not a significant number of population to warrant it. So what I'm going to do is head off to Luxembourg City, the capital of Luxembourg. It's no hardship. 30 minutes of glorious, unspoilt, winding roads and an exquisite coffee, I have no doubt, awaits. Oh, and the weather's clearing up. It's actually warm now. Okay, let's see if I can find some humans in Luxembourg. Welcome to Luxembourg City, capital of Luxembourg, the country, population 112,000, so it's tiny, but there are definitely people here. I can already tell that this is a stunningly nice city. You can see all of the beautiful old architecture as you come down the hill into the city, and it's got a mixture of the old architecture and plenty of very, very modern new buildings, because of course this is a proper tax haven, so this will attract a lot of big businesses. So you've got that really nice mix of the old world charm and character, but lots of modern stuff. So I'm really excited to go and explore. Bike parked up. I'll give you a quick rundown, the kind of bikes right here in Luxembourg City. First of all, I can almost guarantee none of these will be locked up because Luxembourg is so safe. Blue Rock Hero, Yamaha R125, one of those Honda scooters with a gigantic BMW GS that's properly set up for some serious overlanding. Vespa, Kawasaki Z900, little Piaggio Liberty, Kawasaki Versys, Bullet, Yamaha, apologies, I have not sure what that is. Moving on, 125 from China, and we'll wrap the best up for last. Rocket, right on the end of the line. And of course, not one of them locked out. Luxembourg's stunning, very classy, very sophisticated, really nice buzz to it. All of the bars, cafes, restaurants are full. It's got a very, very nice atmosphere. I like it so much I've decided to spend the night roughly in this area. So I've booked a hotel about a 10-minute ride from here. So I'll stay here for another couple of hours into the evening, go back to the hotel, and I think my plan will be head off first thing tomorrow morning back to England. Right, I'll wrap it up there. I am 8 minutes away from my accommodation, so what I'll do, I'll show you the accommodation tomorrow morning at the start of my ride home. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming along today. Have a brilliant week all. See you all in the next one.